This is the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live, where we offer the news, information, traffic, weather, sports, and entertainment our commercial drivers want and need. I'm your host, Shelley Johnson, with Tom Kelly. In order for drivers and owner-operators to be successful, they need to be able to network with people in their industry. It's so much easier to be able to do all of this in one place, on one site. Trucker Social is one of these places. They offer a single platform to help advance careers, connect recruiters, connect buyers and sellers, encourage learning, share stories, and make deeper connections. With us today is Arthur Chaplin from Trucker Social to tell us more. Welcome, Arthur. Thank you for being on the show.
Hey, welcome, guys. How's it going?
Very good. You know, I find your site to be very interesting. What inspired your platform?
Basically, thank you. I do appreciate that. But basically, it was my journey in trucking. I've been in trucking now for about 12 years or so, mostly as an owner, and as of late, I'll say around the pandemic time, I jumped in the truck myself as well, and kind of toughed it out with my guys during that time. So, and just that experience, it kind of showed me a different side of the business as well.
What kind of challenges did you encounter? I know that I heard a lot of different stories and a lot of frustration during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. You know, dealing with everything with, a lot of places being closed, warehouses closed off. One of the difficult things right now that we still experience out on the road, you have these warehouses, sometimes that might take, 2, 3, 8 hours to get you loaded. Don't even have a bathroom for you to use or something like that till you go to the porta potty. Stuff like that is just the journey, as far as I feel, is, kind of like the lack of respect for such a respectable profession, and it's, it's kind of tough on us guys out there and gals. So yeah, I just really wanted to kind of bring everybody together on a platform to have these types of discussions and kind of figure out a way to actually address some of these issues going forward.
Well, and it was a huge need. When you think about it, there were so many truck stops and things were closed down. People couldn't go in to fraternize and talk. Drivers were so isolated. So
Right.
they didn't know what to expect from state to state, from site to site. I mean, that was one of the things that I heard. They didn't know if somebody was going to allow them to come in, if they could bring in their mug to refill their coffee or their thermos, or there were all kinds of different rules. So your site would have given them the ability to know what to expect on some of these situations.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Warehouse to warehouse, all of them are different.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, the which truck stop is open, where they're allowing parking, at this time it's like, even just to get some rest right now, it's about $20 to park at some of these, as most of these truck stops. All the free parking has pretty much turned into, paid parking. And I understand it's business. I'm not knocking anyone's business, but it is a little difficult for us to kind of really just, get out here, make a living, and still actually kind of have that balance as well. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And parking. There's a
hmm
serious shortage of it across the country.
Absolutely. Tennessee is a tough state. Atlanta, Georgia is, it's horrible out there as well. You have a lot more paid parking places, monthly parking, nightly parkings that's popped up as of late. They're all waiting to see what they do with this infrastructure bill. It's supposed to be, some money set aside to kind of make more parking available. Guys got to get their breaks in, and sometimes you just can't even find a spot. So, it's that's what I'm telling you. It's just like it's such a need at this time to really kind of help each other out. Me and my team, we all say, we're all stronger together. So that's kind of what we're trying to push on the platform as well. So,
What type of conversations go on your site?
well, the site is going into the beta right now, so we're not fully up and running yet. We're still beta testing, and I
Okay.
would invite the audience to, you can go to truckersocialinc.com. That's TruckerSocial inc.com. Sign up for the beta test. You know, give me your feedback. Tell me how we can improve it. We want to make this for the community, and any input is good, good or bad. You know, I take all constructive criticism. And basically that's what we're trying to grow it into. So you got us kind of early right now, but it is definitely something that I wanted to put in the ears of my fellow truckers out there. So.
Oh, yeah. They're looking for places where they can communicate. You know, the CB radio isn't what it used to be.
Right. You know, and that's the thing, like, you know, on there, you know, I've implemented, you know, different functions to kind of facilitate those desires and needs, you know, whether it be a group or rooms where you can kind of go in and kind of remind you of the whole CB effect, as well as, you know, the timelines and everything that you'll find on a normal social site as well. So yeah, you know, I put a lot of thought into it, and based on the experiences of, you know, being a trucker myself, I think I had a lot of firsthand knowledge, you know, as what I would like to have, you know, had I been out, you know, being out on the road.
So are these audio or video social chat rooms, or do people text? How does that work?
I have a social chat room on there that's all audio. So
Okay.
it will be all audio. As many members that want to join the conversation, you know, come up with your topic, discuss. You know, we could be talking about sports. We could be talking about, you know, what's going on, you know, in politics, whatever, really just, but you can have the room for that. So it's not a whole lot of negative, you know, stuff on the timelines and everything, because everybody, you know, I understand everybody has an opinion, and I would never want to alienate anyone, but you can always find your tribe and find your group of folks that, you know, kind of resonates and want to kind of have the same types of conversations that you would like to have as well, you know?
Sure. Drivers tend to have a lot of opinions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I say, hey, you find a driver that don't complain. He ain't been driving long enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know, it's kind of in the nature. You know, just like you say, we do be we are on the road solo a whole lot. So you know, that's, you know, get ready to talk to somebody. Stay ready to talk. You know.
This would be a good place for people to vent too. Because, you know, you go through some traffic situations, you're just like, you know, I'm sure, I don't know how you guys do it. So,
yeah, I was just fighting this Dallas traffic earlier today. So trust me, I know. Yeah, sometimes you just want to have some folks to communicate with, and you know, that's the one thing I feel like, you know, the community already exists. You know, it's just about, you know, trying to create a platform that can actually bring us all together.
yeah,
You know, to voice some of these concerns, because, you know, it's there, and you know, nobody will understand you fully, like someone that's actually doing the same thing that you're doing, especially in the trucking field, you know?
exactly. Very few people really understand what drivers go through. I mean, the rigors of the career, it's intense. And the amount of patience that it requires to be a driver, the amount of planning, the amount of frustration you guys deal with, it's pretty hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've touched on a few of those topics in the blog post. You can, on some of the other social platforms, you can find Trucker Social on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You know, so I post the blogs regularly. You know, dealing with you know, relationships, like, you know, truckers and their wives, you know, and kind of how to manage that, as well as, you know, just the whole family dynamics, being away from your children.
Yeah,
You got to pay the bills, but you know, that is still tough, especially the younger kids, you know. So I totally get it. And, you know, just trying to put some good vibes and great information out there, you know, that I hope can help the next guy, you know.
yeah. I don't think the average American realizes the amount of sacrifices drivers really do have. They miss a lot of holidays and life events and all kinds of things just to deliver our goods across this nation. And people don't appreciate what drivers do. When
Yeah,
if drivers stop driving, we don't have our stuff anywhere.
right. I heard you guys touch on that quite a bit in some of you past episodes, just like, you know, what you said, 99.9% of everything we touch is going to come or arrive on a truck, you know?
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're definitely frontline workers. When they were outlining the frontline workers during the pandemic, definitely truck drivers were part of that for sure.
Yeah, and that's one of the few times I feel that, they were all actually compensated fairly for the work that they put in.
Hmm.
Things have kind of changed quite a bit in this past year or so. We're hoping to see some change in the other direction here soon. But we're all just staying positive on that side.
Yeah, sometimes being optimistic is the best policy for sure. We do have to go to break here, Arthur. You're listening to the Truckers Network radio show on TNCRadio.live. We're talking with Arthur Chaplin. He has Trucker Social. It's a website for drivers and owner-operators and people in the trucking industry. Stay tuned for more coming up right here on TNCRadio.live.
This blog is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. Truckers Against Trafficking can help fight modern-day slavery. Human trafficking is a real and frightening issue in the United States. It's a crime that forcefully exploits women, men, and children. Human trafficking involves transporting a person into a situation of exploitation, which can include forced labor, marriage, or prostitution. The term exploitation in this sense is commonly referred to as modern slavery. At this time, it's estimated that there are 20 to 40 million human trafficking victims internationally. According to the ACLU, the United States Department of State estimates that 14 to 17,000 people are trafficked into the United States each year. Truckers Against Trafficking exists to educate, equip, empower, and mobilize members of the trucking, bus, and energy industries to combat human trafficking. Truckers Against Trafficking goals: saturate trucking and related industries with TAT materials. Partner with law enforcement and government agencies to facilitate the investigation of human trafficking. Marshal the resources of partners to combat this crime. The Truckers Network proudly sponsors Truckers Against Trafficking and their efforts to fight against this heinous crime that's affecting hundreds of thousands of Americans each year. How truckers can help. Training video. Watch Truckers Against Trafficking's free training video and take the short quiz through their online portal. This will register you as an official TAT-trained, TAT-certified driver. Know the red flags. Download the Truckers Against Trafficking app and request a wallet card and window decal at tat.truckers@gmail.com. Share. Share Truckers Against Trafficking's training with others in person and through social media. How trucking companies, schools can help. Training video. Share Truckers Against Trafficking's free training video with your drivers. Request a digital file of your video or physical DVD from tat.truckers@gmail.com. Know the red flags. Tell your drivers to download the Truckers Against Trafficking app and or request wallet cards for your drivers from tat.truckers@gmail.com. Register. Register your company as trained to reflect your impact in the fight against trafficking and encourage others to do the same. This info blog was brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
Hi, I'm Charlie Claber, and I'm excited to join the TNC Radio.live family. You can hear my show, Highway Fever, on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right after Mind Your Trucking Business. One quick question. What have you done today to make trucking better for tomorrow? Join me, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right after Mind Your Trucking Business on Highway Fever.
Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly, and we're talking with Arthur Chaplin. He's the founder of Trucker Social. It's a new social site for drivers and people in transportation. It's going to be offering a ton. It's pretty exciting. In our last segment, we talked about some of the chat rooms that drivers will be able to get on to talk on the site. I guess the site's still in the beta stage, but I think, wow, you're really headed in the right direction here, Arthur. You said you're going to officially launch as an app later this month. How is all of this going to work?
Okay, yeah, I'm right now I'm accepting signups for beta testing through the landing page, which is truckersocialinc.com. You can sign up for beta testing. You get your notifications and everything, and links to download the app for that beta testing. Looking to launch that around May 1st, and we'll run the beta testing likely until July 1st to make sure that there's no bugs or anything that, prior to going full on into the app stores. So looking forward to that.
So what are all the features? I'm looking, you've got stuff for jobs and marketplace, connections. If you kind of wanted to go through all of that so that the drivers can get familiar with what you're offering.
Sure, no problem. The features I put together were the jobs. So owners, small carriers. I've seen some other options out there as far as, allowing smaller carriers to actually market and promote their company as well as go through the hiring process trying to find drivers. So they're able to go to the jobs tab, create a jobs to create a job posting, set their criterias, type of drive they're looking for, local, regional, long distance, feel what type of experience the driver has and everything like that. So that is pretty much the jobs portion. Individuals that's looking for jobs can go there and see which companies are hiring that fits their particular needs. On the marketplace, there's been a lot of individuals in the industry that have been selling trucks, selling trailers, everything like that. You can go to the marketplace, post your product, your truck or your equipment, whatever you got for sale, set your pricing. They can contact you directly through the platform, send a message to you, everything like that. There's financing assistance as well if you need financing if you're buying specifically from an individual versus an actual company. So all of those are there. The group postings, the group function is pretty much like all of the other social sites. You can go ahead and set up your group, like-minded individuals. As far as the story section, similar to the other social sites as well, you can do live videos. Those delete within 24 hours. The chat rooms, it varies by subject. You can go ahead and create your own room, whatever subject you like to discuss. It's all audio, no video. You can chime in, tap your mic, say your piece, and just have a real great discussion amongst your peers. Mm-hmm. As far as the connect is more so like individuals that's, looking for a more one-on-one connection, either with a fellow trucker or another member on the platform. I think that's pretty cool as well. So, those are the few that, that I implemented, and I think the functions will come in, great for folks that are in the industry, whether you're just kick back, taking your 10-hour break or, at home on the weekend or whatever, relaxing, I think the site has a lot to offer. The app will have a lot to offer.
It's kind of like a Facebook for drivers in a way.
For the most part, yes. It's similar in those ways. I feel like the biggest thing is just bringing the community together on one place, on one platform. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, I just feel like drivers get other drivers. You get the joke that I'm telling. You get the meme that I posted. So yeah.
And when you think about it, everybody's all over the place. They're kind of scattered. Some of them are on Facebook. Some of them are on TikTok. Some of them are on YouTube. Having it all in one place where people can connect, they can tell stories, they can tell jokes, whatever. They can find out, hey, I need some advice on this or that, or they can connect with a recruiter. Or all of it makes total sense.
That's one of the biggest reasons why I chose to do it. Around 2015, 2016, there was another downturn in the industry. Mm-hmm. And, at that point in time, I think I owned like 9 trucks or so. And, it was just like I didn't have anyone to turn to, anyone to ask those questions about, like what's going on. This was my first downturn being in the industry, so it was just like a shock, like I know a lot of individuals are experiencing right now. They came in when things were booming, and many may have expected that to be the norm, but not having that mentor, that older statesman that's been in the industry for quite a while, that you can really just voice your concerns and see if you get any feedback or get the positive feedback that you need. I feel like that is necessary, because the individuals that make it through this downturn, it always gets better, but you need someone there to let you know that it's going to get better as well, and kind of give you some of the ways to just navigate through the storm.
Sure. Otherwise, you feel super isolated and frustrated.
Exactly.
And that's the last thing you need to try to succeed. And this is where, when more drivers would connect at truck stops and that sort of thing, I think that they were able to talk things out, and you could be guided to talking to someone who had that knowledge, has that information. You want to have somebody who's had some sage and wisdom and a few decades on the road, because they know a lot.
Right. Yes, and as an owner, like, the advice that I give to guys right now is just, find something that works for you. Keep your head above water. I know a lot of high payments and everything is out there, and some folks, feel like it's not worth running. But the reality is it definitely will get better in time. You just got to find your niche and work that. I can't say that I'm making the type of money that I made during the pandemic, but like I say, those were abnormal times. Right now, I still do pretty good. So I think it's just really just kind of finding that mentor, that one person or two people that can really just kind of guide you along the way. Like there's so many different aspects of the trucking industry, whether it's, you want to look into flatbed, you want to look into heavy haul. After you get some flatbed experience, you want to get into the refrigerated dry van. I've had trucks out there doing the road construction out there in Houston, Texas, for some years. So it's so many different pieces of the industry that you can kind of tap into. You just have to find what works for you and what will give you what you need. Some guys love to live out on the road. Others feel the need to be home regularly. So you just really have to find what works for you as an individual. And, that's what I hope the site, helps facilitate, just, connecting folks and, having those discussions about, what areas or what companies, are out there and what might actually be a fit. Some guys like to go to the oil field, oil field makes great money, but you get a day off every 7 on or something like that. So it all depends, but hey, you might be bringing home $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 a week or something like that out there, So it all depends on the actual individual, but like I said, those conversations need to be had, and it should be had in a place where, it's relative to the audience.
Exactly. And I would think that this would maybe lower the attrition rate of new drivers that first are dealing with, the rigors of trucking. They'll be able to talk to some people who will say, hey, it will get better. This is what you need to do. They can find some mentors, if you will.
Right. I advise, like, as a small carrier myself, I have a lot of individuals just got their license and, want an opportunity. What happens in those cases is like, okay, well, the insurance is just going to be crazy if I bring you on right now. So, you want to try to tell them, like, go with some of the bigger companies, give them a year or so, it's not a bad experience. You may not make the type of money you might make with a smaller carrier sometimes, but that experience is valuable, learning the road. And as you get the experience, then you go over to one of the smaller carriers and or possibly get your own truck, and you want someone to kind of help guide you through that as well. So those are key pieces of any new entrant that will come in. You know, everybody's looking for the big money. It might not be glitz and glam immediately, but you know, this industry in particular changed my life, and I'm locked in. For as long as I can foresee.
And this is a way of paying it forward to helping other people. This is terrific. I like this site a lot. We do have to go to break here, Arthur. I'm talking with Arthur Chaplin from Truckers Social. You're listening to the Truckers Network radio show here on TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned for more coming up.
Sometimes taking a break at a nice truck stop's a great way to relax and take your mind off driving. There are many truck stops across the United States, but we listed the 5 best truck stops that every trucker needs to stop and experience. Little America, Wyoming. The Little America Truck Stop is located in Little America, Wyoming. It's a mini-chain truck stop with several locations throughout the country for truckers to enjoy. Little America offers a wide variety of services to truck drivers. Some of the services include service truck roadside repair, tire repair, new tires, wheel seals, oil changes, water pumps, brakes, courtesy property shuttle, AC repairs, belts, DOT inspections, and trailer tarp installation. Iowa 80, Walcott, Iowa. Iowa 80 is a place where truckers want to stop. It's the world's largest truck stop, and it's filled with tons of activities and tourist attractions. Truck drivers can stop and enjoy a nice meal, watch a movie, or stop by the trucking museum. Iowa 80 also has a full range of truck services and amenities. Some of the services and amenities include cat scale, chiropractor, convenience store, interstate dental, dog-a-mat, fuel center, laundry facility, library, travel service center, truck-a-mat, and a workout room. South of the border, Hammers, South Carolina. Pedro's Truck Stop, also known as Porky's, located in Hammers, South Carolina, is a world-famous roadside attraction for tourists and truck drivers. Pedro's filled with many different activities, unique foods and shopping. It also offers truck drivers supplies, showers, a trucker's lounge, and 24/7 fresh hot coffee. Trails Travel Center, Albert Lee, Minnesota. Trails Travel Center is everything a truck driver needs and amazing food. Some of the Trails Travel Center's food options are a tavern, Cold Stone Creamery, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and McDonald's. Truckers can also stop and shop heavy-duty truck parts or chrome parts. Trails Travel Center also has a truck service that offers drivers wash services, tire services, wheel alignments, and suspension repair. Jubit's, Portland, Oregon. Jubit's is a family-owned truck stop and boasts of being the world's classiest truck stop. They were also recently named the second best rest stop in America. Drivers can enjoy a 24-hour full-service Cascade Grill restaurant, a 100-room hotel, movie theater, barber shop, and more. Jubit's also has a truck service center and is committed to providing truck drivers the best tires, truck maintenance, and truck repair. Some of their services include engine diagnostics, oil change, DOT inspection, glass replacement, metal fabrication, welding, tires, tire service, and airbags. Plus, brake service, truck trailer alignment, shock absorbers, air conditioning maintenance, electrical diagnostics, battery service, suspension repair, electronic logging devices, lubricant service, APU installation, and service. This info blog was brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
Building Strong Minds with Dr. Christopher Cortman every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. As a professional driver, you are always being told about the importance of physical fitness, your health. But what about mental fitness? On the show each week, we take on a new topic, from loneliness to the power of gratitude to how to build strong relationships, all from the perspective of a driver's life. It's every Monday on TNC Radio Live at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Building Strong Minds.
Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on TNCRadio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson with Tom Kelly. We're talking with Arthur Chaplin. He's the founder of Trucker Social, Inc., a new social site for drivers and people in transportation. It's really cool. Tom, you said you had some thoughts.
Well, what I found interesting about that last discussion we were having is this would fit perfectly into what it is Arthur's trying to accomplish. Am I saying that right, Arthur?
Yeah, definitely. Open discussion.
Right.
The feedback, the give and take is how you come up with solutions.
Exactly. Do we have the right solution in all this right now? Do we have it all? I don't think we do. I don't know what it is. But I think if you get enough of the right people together, working together, they may come up with, this is the right amount of training, and this is the right kind of trainer, and this is the right way to do this to make sure that we don't make a silly mistake. I mean, we can't make a mistake here, right? You can't make a mistake and say, oops, did that wrong, had a bunch of kids crash and kill people, that was wrong, let's redo it. We got to do this right up front. And there's still a lot of conversation to be had, and I think a lot of smart people who are out there, creative, wise people who've been driving truck for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, millions of miles without a mistake, and they can sit down and say, here's the right way to train a young person to get into this business in the right way. I don't know the answers, but I think you get the right people together on a platform like this, and then work together to get that information to the right people in government, and perhaps we get something a lot more powerful than the way we're doing it right now, which is the government makes something up, and then we all comment on whether we think that's a good idea or a bad idea.
There you go.
All in all, I'm not sure that's getting us anywhere, is it?
All right. Those are definitely the voices that I love to hear from, the guys that got the experience, the knowledge, that have been at this far more years than I have. To guide not only me, but, other individuals that's in the industry, as we get all this new innovation coming about. You touched on something earlier, and I kind of liken that to the whole autonomous truck movement, which was, a pilot in the sky. Most planes right now got GPS. You put it in, you take off. All the pilot doing is taking off and landing, but there still has to be a pilot in there. Yep. That's how I feel about the autonomous trucks. They can probably get from point A to point B, but, as a driver myself, I still feel that there's so much things that go on the roadway. It's almost impossible for any truck to just, handle that on its own. So,
Sure.
I'll tell the guys, just kind of have some confidence in that. It might make your job a little bit easier. But I doubt if the drivers are going anywhere, in my opinion, But definitely stuff like that, having those types of discussions for sure.
Absolutely. Plus, it's unsettling to drive around a vehicle with nobody in it. No.
The liability would be crazy.
Oh, man. Yes. No doubt about that. Where do people find your website again? How do they sign up? We want everybody to go to your site and be able to really take advantage of what you put together here.
Trucker Social Inc. TruckerSocialInc. SocialInc.com, and you can go there and sign up for the beta testing. Look for the updates and join the party.
I would imagine when everybody really starts signing up, it's going to be pretty lively.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Like I said, I think it's a great platform, has a lot of tools that, drivers can use. And, really just kind of network. And I push growth. I feel like everybody's in the industry looking to get to that next level, whether it's pay, whether it's adding more trucks to their fleet, whether it's making connections with different customers or brokers directly. I feel like we all play an integral role in actually making everything move. I'm not with all of the bashing of different, parties inside that industry, but I look at the warehouse folks with respect, the brokers, the customers, as well as the drivers. Obviously, I might be a little more biased as a driver, but, I understand the whole gamut. So, that's why I say collectively, we all need to come together to find the right solutions.
Yep.
To really kind of push the industry forward. And all of us are in here trying to take care of families. So I don't feel like, any conversation shouldn't be had. So
excellent. And this is TruckerSocialInc.com, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, definitely people need to check that out. This is a site for drivers and people in transportation by a driver. So and you welcome feedback, correct?
Definitely. Any feedback is welcome. This is for us. So, any ways that you feel I can improve, your voices definitely will be heard. So
Wonderful. Well, we've had a wonderful conversation here, Arthur, and I thoroughly enjoyed learning more about your website. I think this is something that is just what the doctor ordered, if you will.
yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. We've been talking with Arthur Chaplin from Trucker Social Inc. Definitely check out that website. It's for drivers and people in transportation, so everybody can kind of network and connect all in one place. You've been listening to the Truckers Network radio show here on TNCRadio.live. Stay tuned for more great programming right here this evening on TNCRadio.live. Thank you for listening to another great interview on TNCRadio.live and the Truckers Network radio show. All of the material you hear on TNCRadio.live on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of TNCRadio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast of the Truckers Network radio show.